Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled People. In today's episode, friend invited me and husband to stay with her for a week, and then the day before we left gave me an itemized list of all the things we did that I needed to pay for. Another lunch thief. The story how I got my workplace bully to quit. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Friend invited me and husband to stay with her for a week, and then the day before we left gave me an itemized list of all the things we did that I needed to pay for. Okay, I get helping to pay for some things when you were staying with someone, but I was just blown away when she gave me this rundown list for things we did. She was my best friend. I had known her since I was 8 and we are now 50. Sure, we've grown apart since then because now she lives in another country and I rarely see her. But she kept begging us to come and visit her and her husband. They'd put us up for our entire stay and even offered to throw my husband a 50th birthday party because we'd be there during his birthday. Quite honestly, if I invited someone to stay with me, there's no way I would be asking for any money from them. I can't imagine doing that. I was going to give her some money for things like the room they paid for when we went to another city and stayed over, but there were other things that I was like, wow, really? But she didn't simply ask for some money, she actually gave me an itemized list of what I owed her. Half of everything we did. My best friend, and she listed things down to the dime of what we owed her. Here's the list. $152.10 stay at hotel room in another city, okay, this I get. $105 gas, for them driving us around town and out of town during our stay to show us the sights. $90 birthday food for husband's birthday party, this I get as well, I guess, but if you offer to throw a party for someone you don't usually expect them to pay for half of it. $136.20 car rental, when we flew to another island with them for a couple of days, I get this as well. $21 gas, I guess for around town driving? $6.50 parking, for fricking parking the car in the city one day. Really? $27 airport parking, when we parked the car at the airport before taking a flight to the other island for 2 days. Really? Total, $537.80. I was just blown away by this. I would have given them a couple hundred to cover the hotel room and birthday food, but actually asking us to pay for the gas to drive us around in parking is ridiculous. Especially the measly $6.50. And the fact that it wasn't just $500, but $537.80. They asked us to come visit, and then unbeknownst to us the whole time they were tallying up all the things we did to split the cost of everything. They came and stayed with us a few years earlier, and I certainly didn't give them a tally of the groceries they owed or the gas spent driving them around. You ask someone to stay with you, then you pay for things. There are 2 ways I would handle this, both ways are a relationship ender. Pay the money and let them know that no further contact will be had. I would be upfront that this was just crappy to do after the fact. Let them know that if they expected money, that should have been said before you stayed so you could see if you wanted to stay with them or do the things they suggested. They basically didn't give you the option to say if it was in budget or if that was something you wanted bad enough to pay for. With friends like this, who needs enemies, lol. I had a similar experience with a friend I used to be close to. I had moved to a new city, and he was the only person I knew. Would invite me to hang out with his friends and would often host parties at his place. It wouldn't be too bad at first, being asked to pick up minor items like paper plates or sodas. It all came to a head when I got a $500 Venmo request to pay for him to make steaks for all of his buddies. That's when I slowly realized I was the only one that ever helped with his parties and get-togethers. What in the actual hell? Did you say anything? What happened? I wouldn't pay. They invited you. Don't think she'll be your BFF anymore after such a crazy thing to do. I just tell them, funny, that's the exact same amount we were going to charge you when you stayed with us. Guess that cancels it all out then. I mean, WTF? You don't invite someone to stay with you then scalp them for cash. This reminds me of the story of the friend that invited everyone to a barbecue and then charged them a per plate fee. Another lunch thief. As the theme seems to be lunch thieves. Years ago, I worked in a factory. We had a workers' lunchroom with the usual fridge to keep stuff cool and a microwave to make stuff hot. Not much else. For years there had been no problems with folks' food. It was simple, only touch what is yours, no exceptions. Jono was a big guy and a bit of a mad lad, as the Brits would say. He worked hard and played hard. He was a big fan of those sweet salty type energy drinks and always kept a supply in the fridge. Evidently, he noticed his supply was disappearing faster than he drank them. Being a decent bloke, he first asked all of us if anyone had been at his stuff. No results. He then put a sign on the fridge warning of dire consequences for the thief when caught. The note disappeared after one day. This was mystifying as none of us removed it. Come Friday, we are all sitting around on lunch. Sometimes the manager, Bob, and junior manager, affectionately known as Jeremy the Shitstain, would join us on Fridays for camaraderie and all that. The subject of the drink thief and the missing sign came up in conversation. Everyone expected Jono to be upset at the goings on, but he just sat there and smiled until the manager asked him directly about it. "Oh, I think that problem is solved," he said with a smile. "I now keep my drinks in a cooler in my car. Whoever has been taking those drinks in the fridge has been drinking my piss for nearly a week now." There was a moment's silence before the entire break room erupted in laughter, all except Jeremy the Shitstain, who looked a bit green. Jono had been taking a big swig from each bottle, then replacing the difference with his piss before adding the bottle to his store in the fridge. I guess those energy drinks were extra salty. Yum yum. The icing on the cake was that Bob refused to do anything about it. After all, if Jeremy had kept his greedy paws off other people's stuff, it would not have happened, and if Jono wanted to dilute his drinks that only he should be touching, then he was not harming anyone else. Jeremy pretty much lived in his office after this. Wow, I did not expect that solution. That's amazing. Thievery of food/drinks has to be met with overwhelming force. Stealing people's lunches like Jeremy really do take the piss. The story how I got my workplace bully to quit. Hello everyone, a little background. I was in Iowa for college and was working at McDonald's to help pay for tuition. This girl did not like me. I know this because she walked up to me one day and "Just to let you know, Opie, I hate you," and then walked away, and from that point on she was a jerk. Every time she saw me she had a nasty comment or would mess with me, like drain the sink while I was washing the dishes or purposely dump sauce on my clean dishes and just say oops. One more thing about her was she was a flirt. She flirted with every guy that came into the drive-thru, every guy that came in the lobby. Now that's done. On with our tale. Cast. B equals bully, the girl I just told you about above. BRM equals bully's roommate, he worked with us at the store. M equals manager. Me equals a overworked, underpaid college student. It was about 5 minutes from the end of my 3 to 11 shift and I was ready to go home. I was in backdrive finishing up my dishes so I could go back to my dorm room and get some sleep before I had to be up at 6 for my classes the next day. I heard her walk in and ask the manager. B, hey, where am I tonight? M, you'll be closing back drive tonight. B, whining, but I don't want to close back drive. She catches sight of me as I am walking up to grab a quick drink. B, make OP do it, he has no life. M, OP is about to get off so he can't do it. Plus you're the one that called and begged for more hours, so this is what you're getting. B looking at me, you better have all those F********** ing dishes done before I get back there. Me trying to be nice, they're done. B, why are you even up here when you have dishes to do? Me finally having enough, look B, I am not one of your drive-through boyfriends, it is not my job to make you happy. B looks dumbstruck that I actually yelled. Her shock quickly turned to anger. She threw down the frappe she was drinking, clocked out, and stormed out the store. M. Well, that was stupid. Unfortunately, OP, I now do not have anyone to close tonight. I know you just worked a full 8, but could you please close tonight? I'll give you a free meal and an extra break for all the trouble. Me sighing, yeah sure M. When did you want me to take it? M. Let's close lobby first, then you can take it. As soon as this was said, BRM walks in. BRM, hey MB, says she'll come back as soon as OP is fired, and leaves. M. Tell B not to worry about, I've already started the paperwork. Also tell her she's no longer welcome back at this store, and if you have a problem with it you can turn in your shirt too. This was by far one of the best managers I ever worked for. He was awesome and I really do miss him. Your post is a fascinating account of standing up to workplace bullying. It's unfortunate that you had to deal with such a toxic environment initially, but it's great that you had a manager who was willing to support you. Dealing with bullies is never easy, especially when it's in a setting where you have to see them regularly. Kudos to you for finally speaking up and to your manager for handling the situation appropriately. It's critical for work environments to take action in these kinds of situations, not just for the comfort of the employees but for the overall well-being of the team. Thanks for sharing your story. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.